KFUG Community Radio. Sebastian on the line. I know unusual for a Wednesday morning, but I've got John Zimmerman here, president of the St. George Reef Lighthouse Preservation Society. Could you bring that mic just right up to you? How are you doing this morning?
Doing well, thank you.
Good to hear. Good to hear. So I hear you're starting tours up again in November.
We are. We're having a tour on November 4th, which is Saturday, and Sunday, November 5th. We have 20 seats available. They're $350 a piece, and they get a helicopter ride back and forth out to the lighthouse and a top-to-bottom guided tour of the structure.
Okay. So how long have you guys been stewarding this lighthouse?
Well, the society began in 1986 due to our first president, Guy Towers, and his wife Alice. And in 1996, after 10 years of working with the government, he was able to get access out to the lighthouse, and we've been working on it off and on ever since.
Gotcha. So, reading the history of it a little bit before we talked, it was built in the late 1800s.
Yes, they began in 1882, and they finished the structure in 1891, and they lit the structure in 1892.
Do you think it shows its age?
It's showing its age a little right now, but the way it was built with granite interlocking blocks, it's built to last the ages.
Right. Does it look like it's from the 1800s? I haven't been out myself, so.
Yeah, I think the old saying is that in the 1800s they built structures when architecture was complicated and life was simple. And I think the lighthouse, while it's very imposing, shows a lot of architecture of the times, and it's very tastefully done.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. So another thing I remember hearing recently is that you guys are working the lights again over there.
Yes, the light was relit again this last work session, which was over the Labor Day weekend when we conducted a tour, and we're going to be checking on it when we go out this time.
Nice. You can just bring it a little closer. Thank you. What's it like seeing that light on? I mean, how long has it been since it's been lit?
Well, we originally lit it several years ago, but it had been out for quite a while, and we hadn't been able to get out there due to COVID and helicopter availability. And we got it relit, as I said, in September after several months of it being out. We hadn't been out since May of 2022 when we checked the light before. So, yeah, it was great to have the thing going again, that's for sure.
For sure. So you guys recently got a grant as well from the county, I believe?
Yes. The county, we got a pretty near $20,000. We utilized the money to get a helicopter down here to get the consultant out there from New York. We hired this fellow who specializes in lighthouse restoration all over the country. He's done several lighthouses on the eastern seaboard as well as the Pacific Northwest. And he did a top-to-bottom review of the lighthouse, and he's going to write us up a report. Also, we were able to get a civil engineer who happens to be on our board to go out as well and consult with this gentleman. And we're having a glass pane specialist who's going to be that came out that is going to be involved with replacing our glass panes on the lighthouse.
Nice. So I hear it's the most expensive in the country.
It was. It cost roughly $752,000 to build over a 10-year period from 1882 to 1892, making it by far the most expensive lighthouse built in the country.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think was so difficult about getting everything built over there? I mean, aside from the obvious 7-mile distance.
Well, they had to mine granite. They were fortunate to get the granite from Mad River Quarry near Arcata, California, but transport and supply, hiring a vessel to be moored off the lighthouse, running lines to the lighthouse to transport personnel back and forth, and blasting a good chunk of the top of the rock off in order to make a foundation suitable for the stonework in order to build it. The caisson that the lighthouse rests on is 70 feet above the sea, and it's an irregular oval about 86 feet in diameter, and it's all interlocking stones backfilled with reinforced concrete. And then on top of that, you have a 74-foot tall beacon that is built. The building is built with interlocking stones as well. So it was no mean feat to do so.
Mm-hmm. Now, I have an interest in spooky things. Have you heard of any ghost stories of this place?
Oh, I've heard of them, but I haven't been bothered when I've been out there.
That makes sense. I mean, when you go places long enough, it stops bothering you. I get
Well,
that.
Lighthouse saves lives, and I suspect that the ghosts out there would be friendly if they exist at all.
For sure. What would you say is your favorite time of day when you're out there? Because I've heard you've stayed the night out there and been through kind of the whole day.
Early in the morning, you get the sunrise, and you can see the Coast Range and Crescent City shoreline all the way up to Brookings and south toward Oric. And then at night, the sunsets are absolutely breathtaking.
That's good to hear. I might have to get some of that.
Always looking for volunteers.
All right. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna reference your newsletter that you've so graciously passed on to me here. So it was a Coast Guard lighthouse for a while.
Well, the lighthouse service existed until 1939, and then they combined it with the United States Coast Guard from 1939 to 1975. When the lighthouse was decommissioned, it was operated by the Coast Guard.
Gotcha. So how did Guy Towers get a hold of this this whole thing?
Well, he had heard about the lighthouse and understood that it was going to be put up for sale as a surplus property by the government, and so he moved to get the thing saved. And we owe him and his wife Alice a debt of gratitude for doing so.
Gotcha. So it was a surplus sale.
Yes.
Okay. I was very curious about that because I'm like, they just put this lighthouse out there?
Well, they actually turned the deed over to the Delaware County, and Delaware County is actually our landlords, and we lease it from them for a very minimal cost. And so we answer to the county, and in fact, if anyone's interested, I'll be at the Board of Supervisors meeting on the 10th of October at 10:30, giving them a report as to what our activities are.
Gotcha. Okay. What are the challenges in keeping this operation afloat and getting people out there?
You just said it. Getting a helicopter that is certified with the safety equipment necessary to transport us out there, and that means a lot of money. And they're very expensive, which is understandable.
Right.
But because we live in a small community here with a relatively small population, it's difficult to find a pilot and a craft that complies with all the regulations. Raising money is always an issue with any nonprofit, but we think with these tours and being on your radio show and through other venues that we'll be able to get the word out, so we create interest. Everybody that goes out there on the tours are glad. I haven't heard one person in the several years I've been involved with the organization that has ever been sorry they bought a ticket and gone out and seen the lighthouse. They've been really excited.
Well, that's good. So I remember when I first heard about the Lighthouse tours and how everything was happening, I was confused to how to get a hold of someone to actually maybe go out there at the time.
Well, we try to put out posters and so forth, but just so everybody that's listening to this program knows, they can call me at my own home at 541-254-3851 for reservations. And our number for the organization is 707 273-1905.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that is helpful because before I'd look at the website and be like, oh, there's tours? How do I get a hold of it? But now that there's a very clear number to call.
Yes, we also have a website, and we're on Facebook. On Facebook, it's under St. George Reef Lighthouse, and on the website is St. George Reef Light at stgeorgereeflight.org. So, and we also have our email address is stgeorgereeflight@gmail.com.
All right. So the lighthouse. It sounds like it served Brookings and Crescent City since it's like right in the middle.
Yeah. Well, the lighthouse had a 20 mile visibility on a good day, 18 to 20 miles. Mm-hmm. And if you go along the coast all the way north and south, usually when you're at sea, if one lighthouse got out of sight, then you'd pick up another one. Mm-hmm. That's a general rule. So going north, say you were in near Fort Bragg, you'd see Point Cabrillo Lighthouse, and you go north from that, you would say Cape Mendocino Lighthouse, and then once you lost sight of that, maybe you'd see Table Bluff Lighthouse in Eureka, and then going north Trinidad Head, and north of that St. George Reef, north of that Cape Blanco. That
gotcha.
Type of thing. So
okay. Yeah, this is very fast. I had no idea because the only other lighthouse I know of that's even like this level of old and hard to get to is the one on the Lost Coast, the little tiny one.
Point Gorda.
Yeah.
Which actually, interesting you mentioned that, Guy Towers, who founded our organization, what was the genesis of his interest in lighthouses, he hiked down the Lost Coast south on the Mattole River, and he saw Point Gorda, and he looked into the history of that, and that got him interested in lighthouses in general, and then he heard about St. George. So we have kind of Point Gorda Lighthouse to thank for saving ours.
Huh. Well, that's good. I'm glad that it's saved. I mean, I wouldn't be seeing these great pictures from it and being able to go out there and see it for my own self, because I saw some pictures from your guys' Facebook from the most recent tours, and those were just great pictures. And I'm excited to maybe add to that catalog of great pictures.
Well, we'll be glad to have you out.
Yeah. Is there anything that I didn't ask about that you want to make sure gets said on the program?
Well, I guess two things. We're always looking for volunteers. You can utilize those same two numbers, 541-254-3851, that's my number, or 707-273-1905, which is the organization's number. If you have any interest in volunteering, we'd be glad to hear from you. If you have any spare jingle in your pocket and you want to give us a contribution, we'd be very delighted to separate you from your money. So,
all right. Well, thank you for coming on. I appreciate having you.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to hop right back into the music here with X, The New World. Thanks for stopping by. It's K-Fug. Keep it here.